Welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. If you're listening to this the day after the Strickland Podcast Network, I'm Sam. I'm joined by Luca. We will be joined probably shortly by Khan. Knicks win versus the Sixers, 110-96 in their first game back from the All-Star break. It was a roller coaster of a game, but before we get into all of that, BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting. Contest and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile devices. Head to the BetOnline app today to become part of the team, and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here, and we also have a new ad read. Whoa. We've got a great new sponsor. I love betting. My friends love betting on anything. Sports games, who's fast. That's what Cut allows me to do. The Cut app is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's legal in 40 plus states. Cut has customizable odds, tracking capabilities, and an entire social network with group chats, user profiles, and rewards. All payments, no need for Venmo. Use our promo code BELIEVE Knicks, that's BLEAV, all caps, and then the word Knicks, for a 10% welcome deposit bonus. Don't forget that promo code, CUT. Put your money where your mouth is. All right, fellas, we had ourselves a very interesting, and I say that very loosely, interesting game tonight from the Knicks. 3 guys with double doubles tonight. So there was that. We also had our Bogdanovich welcome to the Knicks moment game as well. But this game probably will get overshadowed by 2 things. The egregious refereeing that continues to be a problem, not only amongst Knicks games, but amongst the league as a whole. It's kind of ridiculous how bad the refereeing has gotten over the course of the year. We'll get into that too. Also, a bunch of the lead getting cut down a bunch of times. I feel like that is also a story of this game. What we managed to pull through this time, it wasn't as dicey as the Memphis game got, because that was one game that definitely got really dicey when the lead got cut down. But yeah, I mean, I think we can start off with the guy who got the press, who got the interview at the end of the game, Precious Achiuwa. Breen and Wally, they were talking to him after the game, and rightfully so. He is just completely transformed into a new basketball player under the Knicks. I mean, our very own Zach Blatter tweeted out during the game, he doesn't know what Toronto was doing with Precious, and same could be said with Miami. And sometimes it takes a while for certain players to find their niche in the league. I saw in the quotes that some Raptors fans were saying that his time on the Raptors, like, he didn't really have a defined role. And you can kind of see that on the Knicks, he definitely does have a defined role. He is like the guy who is going to get the garbage buckets. He is going to be, a screener. He is going to get offensive rebounds. Like, that is his role. That is like prototypically what most Knicks bigs roles are. And it was good to see him kind of step out and hit a couple threes today too. I mean, good to see him try to space the floor. We know that's something that's sort of in his repertoire, but hasn't been something that's been fully fleshed out. So that was good to see as well. And 2 steals and a block as well tonight. So, just continuing to be effective defensively. Can't say anything more about Precious. He's just been absolutely everything that we've wanted him to be and more somehow. So shout out to him.
Yeah. I mean, he's just been incredibly impressive. And like you said, Tibbs is so good at making guys' roles simple. And I think that's a reason so many bigs thrive under him, is because he just defines the role. He's like, okay, rebound for me, make good rotations, play defense at the rim without fouling. That's basically it. And be a good role man. And all the bigs that we have and have acquired recently have been. But Precious, I mean, it's not to take away any credit of his own. or the work that he's put in, because he's looking elite defensively and as an offensive rebounder. And I just think the culmination of him being physically imposing like he is, like he's not really tall, but he has incredibly long limbs, and he is just really good grabbing boards and around the rim. And just, yeah, credit to him for playing so well over this recent stretch. We really need it.
It's kind of insane to think that Eric Spoelstra had this guy, and Tibbs is getting way more out of him than Eric Spoelstra ever did.
Yeah.
That's the most crazy thing to me. And like you said, like all credit goes to Precious too for adopting this role, because he wasn't playing nearly this physical with Toronto, with Miami, right? And he's also a free agent, man. Like he wants to get paid, and he should be getting a pretty good contract based on how he's been playing with us. Maybe it factors into decisions we make at the center position this offseason. Like we'll see, but it's legitimately something to think about with how he's played. I think, but I'm not saying I would make any move, so like any specific move, but I'm saying like that has to be going into people's calculus when looking at this roster going forward.
Yeah.
And it's a credit to the front office for identifying a player that they saw something in and making it work once they got him here. This front office has taken some shit from some portions of the fan base, unfortunately. But I feel like they have done well for what they have. Like they've made it an effort to get certain players, and they've made the most of their opportunities here. And yeah, like you said, someone like Thibs getting the most out of Precious when Eric Spoelstra couldn't is wild, because Spoelstra is like known as the guy getting like the absolute most out of players. And we see that almost every postseason with these random guys that end up going off. Now you're seeing with the Knicks. Another thing that I noticed that Raptors fans were saying in response to Zach's tweet earlier too is the spacing here in New York is better for him too. Yeah. Like you're seeing like you're seeing with someone like Brunson, when Brunson's getting trapped, like now you have Bogdanovich in a corner, you have either Burks or Dante in a corner. These guys are just snipers. And then when you think about someone that like OG, who's going to be in the mix, who's going to be able to knock down threes in the corner and stuff like that, it's just like this type of spacing allows for the bigs to have a much more defined role, a better role. Because like when you think about the spacing that he had in Toronto, it was like him and like Pascal. That last year it was like him, Pascal, Scotty, like Boucher, these guys, Boucher, like these guys aren't like, they're not spacing the floor. So it's like, you see this stuff and it's like, you see now why he's thriving, that it's much more like, even with the point guard play too, like, someone like Jalen Brunson is miles better than anybody that Precious has played with in Toronto. Like the best player that he played, the best point guard was Fred VanVleet, and like, what is that compared to what Jalen Brunson's providing, especially from a gravity standpoint as well? Like, you're seeing the gravity of Brunson, and I know that's a word that Warriors fans love to use with their beloved Golden Boy. But you're seeing it now with Brunson. Like you saw it tonight on full display. Like guys like Bogdanovich, like Dante, they're just, and even Josh Hart finally hitting some threes tonight. Shout out to him, and we'll talk about him in a bit.
He was really good tonight.
But yeah, you're seeing like what that gravity, like what it looks like, and it's amazing to see.
And kind of just to segue a little bit, you mentioned the shooters getting to play off the gravity. That's huge, because at least coming into his second tenure in New York, Burke has been a really good shooter with Detroit. I think he's probably below 40% from the field now, but I know he was shooting 40% from three in Detroit. Bogdanovich is like, he's ridiculously efficient scoring the ball. I think he has a 57 effective field goal percentage, which is like upper third of the league. And these guys just playing off of the gravity that Dante is getting now with how well he's been shooting. And then once we get Julius back, like you can put Jalen and Julius out there with 3 more shooters. You could put Jalen out there with 4 shooters if you wanted to. I don't know if Tibbs will do it, but there's a lot of options, and it's not a bad thing to have the amount of shooters we do.
Is that lineup for you including Randall at the 5 or what?
Yeah, either Randall or OG at the 5. I think OG probably. It really depends matchups.
All right, I was just trying to see if you're calling Precious a shooter. That's all.
No, that would be funny though. He's not shooting enough for me to say that. But it would probably be like Jalen, Bogey, Jalen, Dante, Bogey, OG, Julius, something like that.
Yeah,
because I think on low enough volume, Julius is at least in the couple games before he got hurt, he'd been shooting the 3-pointer better.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of 3-pointers being shot better, like Josh Hart's form looked better to me today. Like clearly, it was a lot smoother. That hitch on his way up wasn't there. And hopefully that's something he just addressed because he said on the roommate show, right? He was talking about how his shot is broke right now. And I was like, bro, I don't know if it's just right now, dog. Like,
I saw you all year.
I saw you in the playoffs last year, bro. I don't know.
I'm glad he has the awareness, though.
What happened? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Peak self-awareness. Shout out Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Peak self-awareness all the time. That's great to have as a basketball player, especially if you're going to be playing in a city like New York. But yeah, let's talk about Josh Hart. I mean, he was great tonight. Great segue. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. 2 of 5 from 3. So he took threes and he made them. So shout out to him for actually making threes tonight. Hopefully this is something that continues for the rest of the year. I mean, we saw it last year for the towards the latter half of the year until we got to the playoffs. Like he was shooting the ball really well. So hopefully this is something that, happens again this year. Maybe we can carry it over into the playoffs. But it's good to see him take and make threes. The decision making looked better today.
Yeah.
Still don't like him playing 44 minutes. I didn't think it was all that necessary to expend him that much, especially when we know about his knee condition as well. Like this is someone that we know Thibs is gonna rely on him in the playoffs heavily, because we saw it last year, and we saw it before. Like the OG and Randall got hurt. Like he was still someone that he was heavily relying on in certain lineups, especially the close games. So, this is someone that you're going to use a lot. You might want to preserve him. Like, and I feel like tonight was tonight was one of those nights that you kind of did need him to play a lot more.
Yeah.
Just because Burks kind of didn't give you much after that first stint that he had on the court. But yeah, I mean, I thought Josh Hart played a great game tonight from him. And, he's someone that we've given him a lot of shit on the show, rightfully so, I think, because he just hasn't been consistent. He's been a constant roller coaster, but, hopefully this is the start of, the latter half of the year being much better for him.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was phenomenal tonight. Like, when we needed him to make the Josh Hart plays, he did. Like, I don't know. He didn't really have any, noticeable backbreaking rebounds or anything. But it's like when you felt like we needed to stop or to secure possession, he kind of just appeared and made the play, which is good to see from him because, like you were saying, Sam, the first half of the year was kind of a roller coaster from him impact-wise. And, I mean, he can just raise his impact by just shooting the ball and creating more spacing because he's not, god-awful off the bounce. If he gets a flyby, he has pretty good vision for a player of his archetype, and he has pretty good chemistry with the bigs. So, yeah, just keep playing like this and keep shooting threes, please. Even if you're not going to hit him, it's just important for him to be taking those shots.
Yeah, I don't love seeing him play 44 minutes, but when you're kind of known as that dude who cares about winning, makes all the hustle plays, and stuff like that. Like, if there's somebody who I'm not going to feel bad when called upon, it's going to be you, bro. Honestly, that's just kind of that's your rep. You are the guy who is going to get his nose dirty, going to, put the elbow grease work in and make sure just go around. So 44 minutes for Hart. I mean, we all know hopefully, I should say, when Randall, OG, everybody comes back, that Tibbs won't be playing him 44 minutes, but it's also Tibbs.
You never know. He does have
his favorites.
He does have that mic'd up moment I'm ready to play the
Yeah.
entire game if you want me to. Maybe you shouldn't have
Yeah.
said that.
Oh, and Tibbs took it very literally too. You know that
Yeah.
for a fact.
Yep.
But I mean, there's just not much for me to say, man. Like the only thing that I ever have, to commentate on about his game is like shoot the open 3-pointer. Like if you go to the basket and you miss, I don't really care. If for one day like the tips aren't going his way on the boards, like I don't care, bro. Like I know who you are as a player. Just shoot the ball when you're open, and that just makes everything so much smoother for everybody in this offense. So, yeah, that's all I got to say on Hart. It's just really easy, simple for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you were saying. He doesn't really have to do a ton to be crazy impactful. It's kind of like the less he does, the more impactful he is. If he just isolates.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think he understands, or I think he does understand, but like maybe just game to game, he kind of like wants to put more on his plate, I guess. But if he just plays a Josh Hart game every time, I'm just like, yeah, that's fantastic, bro. Like you did exactly what we needed you to do. You're not like even close to being one of the best shooters on this team. So when they're open, like, you gotta make them respect you. And the board stuff is always gonna be there. Like he's even with this knee condition on 44 minutes, like he's jumping out the gym. He was grabbing boards over like Kelly Oubre, who's more athletic than him and taller than him, and I was like, "You're a fucking lunatic." So yeah, I just respect the shit out of what he does, but just like shoot the 3-ball, please.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: I don't know if him putting more on his plate is a him thing or a Tibbs thing, because we do kind of still lack creation right now, and especially as Bogey and Burks are getting integrated into the offense, Tibbs might be like, "Hey, Josh, you've been here a while, you know the system. Try and take over a little bit of playmaking while these guys get to know the ins and outs."
Could we talk about Burks a little? I don't know if that's coming up.
Such a subject.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could definitely talk about Burks. I did want to stick with some positives before we did get to.
Let's talk about Jalen first.
into some negatives.
Okay.
So we'll save Burks for in a couple minutes. Make sure you guys leave in some comments so that way we can address any comments that you guys have. I know this game was kind of annoying. We also got super chats available if you are looking to support the stream and the site, so that's also appreciated as well. We'll get to some comments in a few, so definitely leave those. But yeah, let's talk about
Do you want to talk about Jalen or the refs being god awful again?
I mean, they kind of go hand in hand.
They do.
Like, he's the guy that's getting screwed the most on these plays. Like, he is the guy that seeks the most contact. He's the guy that garners the most contact because of the way just his play style. Like today, he didn't have the 3 going. 0 for 4
he
from
didn't have
3.
anything going.
So like he tried to get into the paint, and like a lot of his misses were fouls. Like I think that's why his shooting percentage looks so bad. Like 27% from Jalen Brunson is not the norm. Like even on a bad shooting night from him, it's not this bad. Yeah. So like a lot of the missed shots tonight were missed foul calls. Like he just didn't get foul calls, and it was ridiculous to see, especially after the atrocity that was the end of the Houston game that we have protested that we still have no word about. Probably won't get it because the league has stupid language in their rules, which makes no sense. But yeah, I feel like a lot of his shots tonight were just like bad. Were just missed shots that like didn't get foul calls, and then I will say the turnovers.
Yeah, that's
something that was definitely his fault. Like he just was not taking care of the ball as well as we know him to. So that's something that hopefully gets brushed up over these next couple games as he's getting back into rhythm. He had the All-Star break. He was very busy during the All-Star break too. Had a lot of these podcast appearances. Gave us a lot of great information, especially shout out his All the Smoke interview with Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, where he gave some insight on the Mavericks negotiations.
Yeah, that was a cool listen.
So shout out Mark Cuban. You will be at the parade.
He'll get a statue, maybe.
Him and Troy Weaver will be at the parade this summer. Shout out to those two. They helped build this Knicks dynasty. that we are in the midst of.
Are we inviting Masai?
Yes, we're inviting
Yeah,
Masai as well.
Masai gets an honorary invite.
Masai, Troy Weaver, Mark Cuban. Shout out to all of them. They are Knicks legends for helping construct this team. But not like Jalen Brunson. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about tonight. I'm glad he didn't let the refs get too much into him, because like we've seen some games where like he lets the refs really get to him, and like it becomes like this game where he's like seeking fouls way too much. He's complaining way too much. Not to sound like Wally and Breen, who two police captains over there complaining every time the players have an actual gripe with the calls.
It's actually so disgusting, man.
It's
so nasty.
so bad. It's so bad. Like they're like, oh, I'm tired of the players just constantly complaining to the refs. I just feel so bad for the officials. They're doing their best out there. It's like, okay, Officer Breen and Captain Wally.
Even if they're right, dude, it's like no one wants to hear that shit.
See that shit for
right?
national TV, bro.
No one, bro. Like you are,
especially Knicks fans. Like we don't want to hear this.
Please.
We're gonna sound so annoying complaining about Jalen's whistle when he shot 11 free throws.
I mean,
it was still absurd though. Like they were allowed to get away with so much contact on him.
And
they were.
Free throws didn't come off of shooting fouls. Like I think he went to the line twice for 4 shots off of when we were in the bonus.
Yeah, he had a couple bonus shots. He took a couple techs as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think then probably 3 out of those 6 trips weren't even from shooting fouls.
I mean, going to the line 4 times for how much he was getting hit is just stupid.
Yeah,
especially with the way they were calling it on the Sixers end. Maxey getting every call, Oubre getting every call.
Bro, honestly, like I don't hate Maxey at all. Like I actually think Maxey's like a really fun player.
He's really good. His whistle.
He's not annoying like most players are when they play the Knicks.
Yeah.
His whistle's kind of gross though. Maybe it was just tonight, and he's not usually officiated that way. But
I don't know. I'll just say that I hope Maxey ends up having a better career than Tyrese Halliburton. That's all.
Could happen.
Tyrese over Tyrese.
Yeah, there you
go. But yeah, speaking of Tyrese Maxey, I had tweeted out actually during the game when Tyrese Maxey was going crazy. I tweeted out, why not toss Deuce on Maxey?
That's I brought that up.
And what you call it? Dibs put Deuce in the game. Like Dibs listened. He put Deuce in the game. And I don't remember seeing much of Maxey after Deuce was in the game.
I can actually check. Maxey in the fourth quarter had 0 points, 2 boards, 2 assists on 0 of 4 from the field, and 2 turnovers.
And I wonder how much of that, I don't know if official tracking information is out on that
I'm going to check
when Deuce was on him. But like when Deuce came into the game, like he affected the game defensively. Like these are the type of adjustments that I want to see from Tibbs. Like especially come playoff time. Like if a guard is like giving us issues, if you got Deuce out there, throw Deuce on the guard. Like because like quicker guards are gonna give guys like DiVincenzo and Hart issues sometimes, because those guys, they're like stockier guys. So like it's harder to keep up with a fast guard like Maxey. Throwing someone like Deuce on him is gonna bother Maxey, and it's gonna bother a lot of quick guards. So like if we're in a matchup and like it calls for that adjustment, that's the type of stuff I want to see from Thibs, where he like calls on Deuce. Deuce comes in, does his job, and we take care of business to close the game. Because Deuce, what he does now, he comes in, he plays good defense, and he's gonna hit some threes. Like that's what you're gonna get from him at the very least.
Specifically, like if we were to match up with Indiana, that's like the most glaring matchup to me, where that kind of Deuce like minute matching with Halliburton in a way would be really important. But unless it's like maybe Cleveland in the second round with Donovan Mitchell or something, because remember what he did with Mitchell last year. He had really good reps on Mitchell.
Yeah, jail low-key.
Yeah, so that's like the only 2 real like first second round matchups that I think like would really matter against Boston. Like, there's not really anybody who you worry about like that. I mean,
They're all wings, except
exactly.
it's not like Derek White's going to be like taking everybody off the dribble or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, that's the type of adjustments you want to see, and like Khan brings up, those are two great matchups for what you call it,
Playoffs.
for the playoffs. That I think Deuce would definitely come in handy. I think that's what kind of hurt us in that last Indiana game that we played against them. That like Thibs he didn't want to put Deuce on Halliburton. Like I forgot who was guarding Halliburton for like the later portions of that game whenever Halliburton started to go off. But like I remember early in the game, or at least like late first quarter, early second quarter, Deuce got like a couple stops on Halliburton, and he got Halliburton kind of pissed because like he was wondering where the calls were, but like Halliburton was Deuce was just playing really good defense. So this type of adjustments I want to see from Thibs. It's good to see him do it tonight. We'll see what happens when the team is at full strength and come playoff time, because when come playoff time, his brain kind of just reverts to like this like very simple automatic CPU subbed based like method. So we'll see.
I don't know. I think Deuce is so important to this rotation, even post trade. We can't really afford to completely take him out of the rotation when everyone's healthy. Like he's just way too important defensively. And it was so obvious once he came into the game how much we're lacking in point of attack defense without OG. Because even with like Josh being a solid defender and Dante is a good defender, and we have a lot of good interior defense, guys get into the paint so easily. And we have good rim deterrence, but that's the highest percentage shot you can take. And we need guys who are going to not allow the easiest shot in the game.
Yeah. This is off topic, but Luka's averaging 34 a game. That's ridiculous. I just saw that.
Like during the season?
I think so. Unless I read that wrong. But yeah, if I wanted to say if the decision comes down to Burks and Deuce for the last rotation spot in the playoffs, fucking
it's got to be Deuce.
Put Burks in a spaceship and launch it to fucking Venus. Like I'm not even saying he's like bad or nothing. Just like that guy should not be playing over Deuce McBride. Like it's not a rational take to say he should be playing over Deuce.
I wish we didn't have to make it a one or the other thing because Tibbs is the coach, though. Like it should, quite honestly, it should probably be situational. If Burks doesn't have it, then put Deuce in the game because it's not like the playmaking or initiation drop off is anything insane. And Deuce has been shooting the lights out since the OG trade, and did you
guys see that Fred Katz quote on like Deuce like made sure to tuck that elbow in on a lot more jumpers this season, and it's like why he's had that huge uptick in percentage from three.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, they shout out to High Hand Theory. Jeff and XJ are doing awesome work over there. Yeah. They just had Katz on the pod, and he was talking about how coming into the season, Tibbs felt really good with how Deuce was looking in practice. And like you were saying, with the elbow tuck and that change in his jumper. And we're really seeing it pay off, man. Like, shout out to Deuce and shout out to whoever in the coaching staff saw that in his jumper because it just turned him into a completely different player. Yeah. You just got to keep up the aggression, man. Just keep going to the hoop.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about Burks more? I think we talked about Burks as much as we wanted to. I mean, I think we all agree that, he has to be situational going forward, or at least he should be, because like Deuce gives you so much more, at least versatility defensively than Burks is. And I just don't like what Thibs is doing in terms of like forcing Burks to kind of be point guard even when Deuce is out there. Like you saw that in the first half a little bit, and it just gave like very nasty vibes of 21, 22. Yeah. So I just want to get those all out of my head, and Thibs just keeps trying to like give us all PTSD with it, which I'm not appreciating. But yeah, we did talk about Bogdanovich, who like kind of like went like vintage Steve Novak mode today. Like 6
Give me
threes,
the
just
double
all
take.
lighting, just like all from the corners, just like absolutely spraying it.
No
Uh,
jump, no dip in the jumper, just straight cash.
Yeah, and like he gave us a little bit of some post work too. Got to the cup. He was doing it all. He's like I keep saying he's like Novak with some sauce, like because like Novak couldn't do no post ups. He couldn't do like no playmaking. Like those are the
Bogey's
kind of
tough,
things you get with Bogdanovich, and like you get the Novak, the signature white boy spot up shooting, automatic type shit. Like that's the type of stuff that Knicks I felt are lacking. Like they had Dante, but like, Dante was like
Dante's not. The words of Tyrese, Dante's not white. Though.
Dante's not white. Exactly. Dante's not white. Like he's not like a classic like white guy spot up shooter like, the Novaks and the Bogies are. So we kind of needed that kind of spice to the team. He brings that.
Spice.
He brings that, yeah, ironic white guy spice, right?
Yeah.
But he brings that kind of flair to the team that we've lacked, and he just brings that versatility that we can have more lineups, more versatile lineups out there. Hopefully Thibs is more willing to try those versatile lineups. We'll see, but yeah, I mean we kind of saw it today with what you call it it was like Precious at the 5 and like 4 guards basically, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
Jalen. Are we counting Hart? Because I think it was Jalen Dante.
Hart is like sort of like a guard. Yeah,
OG.
I guess you can kind of count him as that. But like, yeah, we kind of saw some versatile lineups, and we always said like Thibs is a little bit forced to do these kind of things when he's shorthanded, and seeing as we're going to be shorthanded for the greater part of the rest of the year. I mean, we've heard OG's comments, we've heard Randall's comments, and I guess we can talk about those as we get into comments as well. But yeah, we're gonna see Thibs be forced to do a lot more of these things where he's playing like Precious at the 5, especially with Hartenstein on this minutes limit. It seems like, and a bunch of guards out there with him, and this hopefully this is eye opening for Thibs himself to see like what he can do in the playoffs. Like even if we are at full strength, like these are the type of things that he can try. To because teams are gonna try to run zone. Teams are gonna do all these try different looks at us. Thibs has to be willing to try these different looks that he's trying right now.
I'd love for a team to run zone against us with all these shooters if we're healthy.
Oh hell yeah!
I know the shooting's better this year, but like if this guy wouldn't go small with Quick at the 2, and then obviously Obi Toppin is very much different from OG Anunoby, but like he had all that time last year to go small, and he never did it. Right? We could have ran, even like if you didn't want Obi out there, you could have went Brunson, IQ, Hart, RJ, Randall. And granted, that shooting is definitely not as good as the shooting in this lineup, but I don't have any faith in him to go small. And I think the bigger thing on top of that is I don't think we need to go small anymore to beat zone. That's the bigger thing.
Fair.
So to me, going small is kind of like a moot point because I don't think it happens, and 2, I don't think it's necessary anymore. I think we match up anyway, regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I also think is going small like for Tibbs putting Bogey at the 4 because he should 100% be allowed. He should feel comfortable playing Bogey at the 4.
I think he'll probably only do that like when he has Mitch back.
That's so that's so stupid. I'm sorry. Like you cannot limit that guy to playing 12 to 15 minutes at the 3. He's way too good for that. And he'll just help his team way too much. I mean, you see how Jalen operates with elite shooters around him compared to having like just Deuce and Hart and Dante out there. It's a world of difference. And as these guys get more integrated and more comfortable in the offense, and we start getting some guys back, it'll look even better.
And forget like just having another shooter. Like Bogey running a pick and roll is different than like Devo running a pick and roll. Even though Devo's been great, like he's still not the guy. Like I still want Bogey handling the ball in a pick and roll over him. Love Deuce. Deuce is not anywhere near, pick and roll ball handler as Bogey. Same goes for down the line Hart. Even like OG as a ball handler and pick and roll, I'd rather have Bogey than OG.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's just, to me, I'm really looking forward to a lineup of like Brunson. I don't know if I'd put Dante there at the 2, but hypothetically, like for the defense, probably I'm going like Brunson, then OG with their guarding the ball, then Bogey, Randall, Hartenstein. I want to see that. I want to see that 5 so bad.
That'll be kind of gross.
Like, there's so much skill on there. Like, the only guy who's under 6'8", really, because I don't think OG's really 6'7". I think he's like
no,
6'7".
that is an enormous human being.
Yeah. The only guy who's under like 6'8", 6'9", whatever is Brunson, and he's your 1. So
yeah,
everybody there is also pretty huge, like in terms of just
Pause.
size. So all right, relax.
Sorry, I couldn't let you get away with that one.
Yeah,
That was kind of crazy. But yeah, no. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to go forward, or because I was just real quick to your point, Con? This roster just has a ridiculous amount of versatility now. I mean, with the way Precious is playing, and even I was going to bring this up earlier when you said iHeart was on the minutes restriction. Sam Jericho, I thought was really good tonight in his spot minutes that he played. I thought he was very good around the rim. He got a couple big boards for us. And even like having those guys be situational is big, because there's not really any guy who I wouldn't trust to switch. Not necessarily switch, I guess, but play out on the perimeter, because we've seen Precious he's able to do it. Hart's able to do it. OG's able to do it. iHeart moves his feet well. Julius moves his feet well. You can just do so many things with this lineup. You can go 3 guards, 3 wings, 2 guards. You can go 3 wings if you wanted to run small. Like, there's just so much potential for Tibbs, and I really hope he utilizes it.
Yeah, I mean, they got him all the pieces for his. They all got him all the tools for his tool belt. It's just like he has to be willing to use them. Yeah, let's get into some comments. And we'll talk about the comments from Julius and OG as we discuss. Jordan Bub, Precious Julius, last 5 games, 15 points, 0.4 points per game, 12.8 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 2 blocks per game, 65% from the field, 50% from 3. Hometown hero. Yeah, he's back home. He's looking comfortable. So yeah, shout out to him. He's playing really well and playing way beyond what anyone thought was possible from him.
Yeah. I mean, we already talked about it, but he's just been everything and more that we could have imagined. Like, getting him as a throw-in and having his bird rights as well, I think is also just a super underrated aspect of the trade. Because having 3, or I guess 4 cheap, reliable bigs on the roster is really good for roster flexibility, and it's just really good for Tibbs to have all those guys if he needs to deploy them.
What's the discourse going to be like if we turn Bogey, Precious, and Picks into like, well, Bogey, Precious, probably like, who else?
Hart.
Mitch might, Hart, I guess, maybe, into like that legit guy.
That'd be fucking insane. Could you imagine the scenes if we turned, like, in reality, like Grimes, Fournier, a second round draft pick from 2018, and a couple firsts into a superstar?
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, this is probably less of like a Knicks thing, but other teams on the outside looking in at Precious, like, you're telling me a team like, I don't know, we could go down the list with so many teams, but like, let's say the Trailblazers, like, bro, Precious is probably going to be a better value on whatever contract he signs this offseason than that bullshit Aiton's on.
I don't even know what Aiden's on, to be honest.
Aiden's
on a
like,
max.
Yeah, he's like a 4-120 or something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so like,
I think 133. That's
133. That's ridiculous, dude. Like, Precious is gonna be a legit asset at whatever number he gets, unless he gets some astronomical. But like Mitch is at 15, so he's not clearing Mitch. Precious gonna get like 11, 12 a year at most.
He's gonna get like 4 for 11 a year. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and
well, Precious, this is the first season that he's actually like putting it together, so like his numbers aren't going to be like that crazy, like because like Mitch, even when Mitch got his contract, like he was like still sort of injury prone. He never really like put everything together for a full season, and we still got him at a value. So like what Precious is going to get is going to be even more of a value contract. Like I think what the Knicks just specialize at constantly getting value contracts, and just maximizing the amount of like talent they can get out of these contracts. Because like they buy low on a lot of these guys and like they end up like maximizing them fully.
Yeah,
like they bought low on Precious.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Sam, the Knicks should be willing to take that risk, right? Because you said this is kind of the first time Precious is really showing something to be like a good rotational NBA player. I think you have to bet on his upside in extending him, especially considering you his bird rights. Like I know we have iHeart to pay, and I know we have OG to pay, but we basically just gave up like 50 mil in cap space with RJ and what we were going to have to pay quick. So there's not really any reason not to have to pay these guys or not to be able to.
After this season, we are going to pass that apron, right? With the new CBA, we're going to pass that apron that like the Celtics and all the other contenders are over.
Mm-hmm.
And once you pass that shit, there is no benefit to not just spending and spending and spending. Like I don't think after you pass the second apron, I don't think there's the third, fourth, fifth, etc. All that stuff. So, like when planning out this roster, if you pass it at any point, whether it's because of like a Hartenstein extension, OG, whatever the case may be, like there's nothing stopping you from just saying like, all right, fucking Precious, write your number, 448, 444, like whatever, we're cool with it because we got nothing to spend it on anyway. So just take the money. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I think that's not crazy.
Yeah, and just looking at it real quick, since you mentioned it, the only things we lose going to the second apron is no MLE, which would be like, okay, whatever, we're just paying all our guys anyway. And if we remain in the apron 3 out of 5 seasons, our first gets moved to the end of the first, which is like Leon's way too good of a GM to let that happen. Like he'll find a way to move contracts and do some scummy shit to get under the tax again. But yeah, like you were saying, there's no reason not to just re-sign all our guys because we're not in a position to do that anymore, right? Because like, I don't know, a couple of years ago before Leon got here, if you would say, hey, a couple of these contributing roster guys have to be re-signed, what's the word? You wouldn't feel it necessary to because the team wasn't going anywhere. But this isn't really a core U breakup. And all the guys we have on this team and under contract are either a key part of a championship team or a contender at the very least, or a very good trade asset. And as it's very well documented, the Knicks have been fishing for that star for a while, so there's no really need to change anything up.
Yeah.
I mean, when you said that about Leon being too good of a GM to let us fall to the back of the first because of the apron, I was thinking to myself, like, we're probably assuming the team plays out the way we think it's going to play out. Like, we're probably like one of the bottom 5 picks in the first round anyway.
Yeah.
So at that point,
that's a good
like,
point.
All right, like that's fine. Like, cool.
Nobody's complaining about that, man. I've been waiting to watch the Knicks be a contender for a long time.
Yeah,
a long time.
Yeah.
I'm 19.
And no, it's fine. It's still been a long time.
Hell yeah.
And it's still like, in a sport with a salary cap like basketball, bird rights are so exploitable if you have people in the front office who know what they're doing with scouting. And for the first time, now that we have that, we can let Dolan just cut checks. And for God's sake, the guy built the freaking LED ball in the middle of Las Vegas, dude. Like, the guy
That's printing money. It's printing money.
Dude, the guy will cut whatever check he needs to fucking get his name clear in the streets of New York, bro. Like, people have wanted him to sell for so long, and I'm not gonna go further into that topic, but like, you think he doesn't want to like have people like him, bro? That guy is a huge egomaniac. So,
Oh hell yeah.
so like, he's gonna cut whatever check Leon tells him to cut.
Yeah. Yeah. When's Leon's statue getting built, man? That's what I'm wondering.
Shit, build it right now.
After the parade.
It's gonna be unveiled at the parade.
How many
Yeah, exactly.
statues are we building after like the first?
It's gonna be all in the Canyon of Heroes. There's gonna be
Jalen,
a bunch of statues.
Tibbs, Julius, Leon,
Troy Weaver,
Troy Weaver,
Mark Cuban.
IQ and RJ get honorary statues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They got like little ones.
Yeah, they get miniature ones. Them two and like Grimes doing a TikTok dance or something.
or getting Grimes mid Corvette.
Oh man. Bojan Bogdanovic from Jordan Bub went 6 for 6 from 3 off the bench for the Knicks. That's the most threes made in a game without a miss by a Knick off the bench in franchise history. Wow, that's kind of remarkable. I mean, when you think about the guys that we've had here that kind of go crazy off the bench, like I'm surprised like Novak never did this before or something.
Or like JR.
Nah, JR takes a lot of stupid shots, so like he had to miss a couple of them.
But
there were games where he was hot. Yeah.
What he was hitting though.
I know, but like it's still crazy. For me, it's crazy that Novak has never hit it.
Yeah.
Because like Novak's just a spot up guy. So like he would just be open all the time after like Melo or someone would drive and then he'd be wide open. So like the fact that he didn't go 6 for 6 ever in a game from 3 off the bench is kind of wild.
To bring it back, Sam, it does feel good to have just one of those patented corner white guys on the team again.
Yeah, the guy just chilling in the corner. Everyone drives in. He's wide open. I can't wait till he has one of those games at MSG, like when the crowd really gets going.
Yeah,
that's when it's gonna really feel like vintage, like Novak on the Knicks type of moments.
Like against a rival or something too. Make it against Boston on Saturday.
Oh,
I hope so.
Is that an MSG?
I'm gonna check right now. Yeah, it's at MSG.
Oh yeah, we need a vintage Bogdanovic. We need like a Bogdanovic like Fournier type game that he had those years.
That'd be so nasty.
That's what we need. That's what we need. That's the type of game we need on Saturday. Like 7, 8 threes, 35 points, some shit like that.
Our like white corner specialist is so much better than every other white corner specialist. Like the Celtics have like Sam Hauser, the Bucks have like Pat Connaughton, the Cavaliers got like Sam Merrill. Oh, they have Sam Merrill, right? Yeah, they got like George Niang.
Max Pacers like 8 of them though.
Yeah. I forgot Strus too. The Pacers have whoever the fuck that I don't care about.
Doug McDermott now.
Doug McDermott. Yeah, then we just have like 20 point per game Bojan Bogdanovic as our white corner spot up guy. Like we're so overkill, bro. Like what the hell?
And then you have Dante DiVincenzo too, who's like almost a 30 point per game scorer randomly.
No, the thing is DiVincenzo's vert is too high to be in that discussion. His vert is way too high in that discussion.
Yeah, he's evolved past that.
He's evolved.
It's like him and Brunson have become like Splash Brothers-esque level of
the graphic the Knicks admin put out with them today was fire.
Yeah, that was a nice graphic.
The fire and ice
one
graphic was crazy.
That's like one of their best ones this year.
Yeah, I mean that's a Zach thing though.
Very impressed. Yeah, I was gonna say
to ask if he's noticed any up in the Knicks social media game.
That's like the one thing that Zach liked from the Knicks social media from like the whole year. He hates everything that they've done.
It's so funny whenever
they'll post Jalen walk into the locker room with a coffee mug there, and he's like, "This is fucking trash." Like, all right, okay.
He'd be like, why did they post this? What was the reason for this?
It's like, it's always so funny when he talks about whenever the Knicks media posts whoever we're playing, because it always switches it up. It'll be like New York versus Raptors,
he hates
and like
that.
Knicks versus Philadelphia, and he gets so mad at it. It's fucking hilarious.
It's all love. Shout out Zach.
Yeah, shout out to Zach, man.
Let's see. Jordan Bob also. This is the first time the Knicks have won multiple road games against the Sixers by 10 plus points in the same season since 92-93. Wow. I mean, the Sixers. I mean, even man, like there were years that were like we were like noticeably better than the Sixers, and we still weren't able to clear them by 10 plus points in the same season. It's crazy.
Always TJ McConnell, man.
Oh my god! Don't even remind me about that game. Let's see. We see Ace Bouchard. He says Thibs suddenly a big analytics guy is weird, at least in terms of winning the possession game.
He's hilarious. He's so unserious.
He likes analytics when they match what he likes.
Dude, he's an agenda pusher. It's actually insane.
He is.
It's actually insane.
Well, I mean, he's also an egomaniac, so like, of course, he's an agenda pusher.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm not gonna say it.
JK, he says, I agree the refereeing was a joke. He says, gotta like Thibs' adjustments though. Hopefully he keeps them up.
Yeah. Thibs gets a lot of credit from me today, man. Like, I thought he coached.
He's doing what he can.
Yeah.
I thought Tibbs' seasonal report card for his report card for the season, like, what is it? B plus, A minus?
I think a B plus at the least. Like, you could probably argue up to an A minus.
Yeah, I think B plus is really fair for him, and still interesting that they haven't extended him though. But
they're waiting. They're waiting to see what he does in the playoffs. And I don't blame
him either.
I agree.
Show some. You have the roster for it.
Like, this is the smart thing to do. Don't extend the guy. Like, make him show you that, like, he's like, make him coach for his life, basically in the playoffs. Yeah. Make him coach for his basketball life, because like
that's all he has.
Nah, what he showed though,
that's literally all he has.
That's all he has, man.
2 years ago, I would have said you might be right. If we ever let him go, he's getting a job right away.
Oh yeah, unless
he decides to retire.
Could you imagine though if he just retires if we let him go or don't resign him?
He'll die.
He probably would he go into like a media position or no?
No. Well, I mean, he did. I think after the was it after the Timberwolves gig?
Probably, yeah.
I think after the Timberwolves gig, he was on the ESPN all the time. He was on like NBA Countdown and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I would actually love to see Tibbs on television. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you guys gotta look it up. He was on NBA Countdown before. It's so wild.
No, I need Tibbs to become like a Hubie Brown type, like fucking broadcaster, and just like complain about defense in like game 3 of the first round.
He never like used to call games or anything, but like he used to be like on the like the pregame.
No, yeah, he was on like the halftime and shit and like the pregame and shit, right? That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
No, but I want him to be a broadcaster. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be so funny if he was just like, these guys aren't playing enough minutes. If I was still coaching, these guys would have played 40 plus.
Yeah, it was in like, I think it was like in 2019, I want to say. Yeah, like he was on the show with like Paul Pierce and Brian Windhorst and all them.
Him and Pierce would have. That's probably peak media right there.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know if he has like the Doc Rivers Teflon-ness, because like Doc Rivers is somehow able to like get a job no matter what. Doesn't matter what he says, what he does. Man. But like it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how Doc does it. I don't know. Like, did y'all see all the quotes?
All bag chaser, bro.
Did y'all see all the quotes during All-Star Week or this All-Star break?
Dude, the media Terry went on during All-Star break was hilarious. I don't even know why they fired him. I don't know why
he's
they
like,
do that.
He asked the Bucks ownership. He's like, "Why are you guys doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you firing him and hiring me?"
Oh, anybody who had like a worse All-Star break than the Bucks, dude? Like there was no games. There was no games. You had your coach come out and say, "I don't know why they fired the last guy. I don't know why they hired me." He just flat out said that. You had your best player say he doesn't watch basketball. you had Dame like
Dame
win
had
a
a good
fucking
weekend.
contest and start fucking tapping his wrist.
All-Star
Like, bro,
All-Star
you're
weekend,
shooting-
man.
Yeah, like you're shooting 32% from 3 this year, you fucking loser. Like, fucking be serious, dude. Get a job.
I love they booed him when he was getting the MVP though. That was so good.
They wanted Halliburton to get that shit so
That's the one
bad
time I want anything for Hallie. He kind of deserved to have the
in his city.
MVP
Yeah,
trophy.
I don't mind. I don't mind like the hometown person getting like the
Yeah.
MVP, especially if they
And
played well.
Dame like just won it too, right?
I don't know if he just won it. I know he
He
was.
was gotta have
3-point contest twice, like back to back.
Yeah,
I know he won the I thought he won an All-Star Game MVP recently.
I don't think so.
And I wouldn't have been mad if Hallie won, but like then I saw his fucking after party bullshit where he was like, you didn't
Wasn't
see
he
that
just, like,
video,
rapping
No.
a break or something?
bro? He was in like a gray like tank top, and like I forgot what song it was. I think it was like some Drake song, and I was
Yeah, it
like,
was.
this guy has no fucking aura, bro.
Swag, no swag.
This guy is no
Negative
fucking
aura.
No, hell no.
Oh man,
Knicks
I mean, you
fans are
kinda-
always outside, man. It's so funny. We'll always find shit to hate on.
oh man. Let's see. What other stats we got here? Jordan Bob.
Yeah, I was hoping you would bring that one up.
Wait, this one.
Mhm.
Players with 80 plus 3 since January 1st: Steph Curry, Dante DiVincenzo. That's it. And it's funny because these two guys, because like Dante was talking on, I guess when Fred Katz brought up the Dante thing, he said that like Dante kind of watched Steph and took like his like angle shooting and stuff like that, to why he's been so successful shooting with like guys are contesting him even more this year, like even off the catch, off the dribble and stuff like that, and he's still able to like hit shots at a ridiculous clip. And you see it today, like you saw it today, like he was hitting like some tough shots. Guys are closing in on him. Guys are like right there. He's still hitting them. So like the type of shots that he's hitting now, like he's gonna get easier looks when Randall and OG are back in the lineup. So like you're just like, it's like good to see him hit these type of shots now because like like things are gonna get easier for him and all the other role players once we get like our guys back for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he is just shooting the absolute shit out of the ball. It's absurd. Like he was a good 3-point shooter in Milwaukee before he got hurt, and in Sacramento and Golden State. But this is just a completely different animal. Like I'm gonna try and pull up the numbers in a second if I can find them. But he's shooting 61% on catch and shoot threes this year.
Wow.
And he's 40% from the corners.
That's like actually absurd.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
He's 40% from the corners and 60 overall.
Oh, sorry. I'm bugging. 61 effective field goal percentage.
That's still crazy.
Shooting is still crazy from 3 though.
Yeah, that's that's wild.
Yeah, no, that would be fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, he's just fucking shooting the shit out of the ball this year. It's so much fun to watch him play off of Jalen. They have such crazy chemistry, man.
Yeah. and that Villanova connection.
Yeah. Josh pulled up wearing Archie's jersey today. It was pretty funny.
That was good. That was a good troll from Josh.
W troll Josh
after he got cut.
Like, yeah, immediately following him, getting fucking traded.
The Cavaliers lost. Let's go.
They lost?
Yes, sir.
They did. They lost to Orlando, right?
They had no Spider tonight, I think, too.
I saw Paolo going crazy.
Yeah, they had no Mitchell, and they couldn't handle it.
Couldn't handle business. Maybe the Magic are legit.
Paolo,
the Magic, they've had their Mo Wagner in the team scoring.
Paolo,
what?
What did he shoot tonight? Like awful,
bro. Because I think I saw the same things as you. I saw 2 highlights from Paolo.
Did you see the Melo possession that he had?
The which one?
Where he grabbed a board and then went coast to coast, and he did a couple
Yes.
spin moves and then ended up foul
Yeah.
line spin jumper.
Yeah. So like I was like, oh shit, he must be fucking snapping. And then he's 4-15, 12 points and 6 boards. Like, okay.
Yeah, that happens every time I see highlights on my Twitter, and then I look at the box score and he's like 6 for 23. Like, how are you getting all-star nods shooting like 41% from the field?
No, that guy's better than Jalen Brunson though, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Jalen's never the best player on the floor.
You gotta love all the media people like kind of just like having to like run back their takes during the All-Star break. Like they just had to like give Jalen Brunson his props and stuff like that, especially Kenny Smith. Like he just had no choice but to be like,
He's a loser,
man. He was brutal on All-Star Saturday night, by the way.
I mean, yeah, if you guys want more people's feelings about it, Miranda just wrote a really good piece about.
Yes, so definitely check out
Sabrina.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like those are just the tip of the iceberg for his awful Saturday night. Like people thought he was so bad. People thought that he was under the influence of alcohol. like you know how brutal you have to be announcing for people to be like, yo, this guy's just like drunk on air tonight. Like he was so bad.
Yeah, that was awful. I don't know how much I feel like letting him have the spotlight though. There's way better things to talk about than.
Oh yeah. I'm about to move on to another comment.
Kenny Smith.
Screw Kenny Smith. But yeah, Ace Bashar, he said, in fairness to Spo, we're giving fairness to Spo.
Not fairness to Spo.
Miami only had Precious for his rookie season.
Maybe Spo just doesn't know ball.
Oh.
Could it maximize Precious Achua?
Hot take.
Can't maximize Precious.
I don't know. This clip is gonna come back to haunt us because like Caleb Martin's gonna shoot like 57 million% from 3 in the playoffs or whatever it is if they get there, and he's gonna average like 25 points in a series.
This is gonna be
absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What Spoelstra is able to get out of randoms.
Dude, Gabe Vincent had his fucking insane playoff run and then just passed away.
he's like
where's he been
on the Lakers? He's like a ghost on the Lakers.
Yeah, even Kendrick Nunn during the COVID year.
Kendrick Nunn's not even in America
points anymore. In the finals, and then just out of the league.
Kendrick Nunn's not even in America anymore.
The common theme is they both went from the Heat straight to the Lakers, and then their careers are over.
Hey, I mean, they say if like the Lakers let somebody go, like it's for a reason. Like you just don't pick up that player. Like that's a lemon.
The Heat let somebody.
If the Heat let somebody go, like they're lemons. Like don't.
Not Precious though. Precious ain't no lemon. I can tell you that much.
Besides white corner specialist Max Strus.
Yeah, Strus and Precious being the two they let go is funny.
That are actually like still thriving and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think this is Precious.
Oh yeah, he said that in the post game interview with Breen and Officer Wally. He says that speaks to my versatility, being able to play multiple positions, not just offense, defensively. I guard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, yeah, we've seen like he has good feet, he has quick hands. So he's able to stay in front of guys, and then even when they get past him, he's still kind of able to strip them. I forgot there was a possession today, but like someone had gotten by him, but he was able to like strip the ball away from them. But you know that just shows the versatility, and it's funny that Nick Nurse and Darko and Spo weren't able to get that out of him. I mean, I don't even know I included Darko in there. Darko seems like he's a coach in the NBA. I'll say that.
One of the coaches.
He is one of the coaches in the NBA. Yes. But yeah, it's wild that all these coaches just couldn't figure out what to do with Precious to get this out of him on a consistent basis, and the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau has been able to. So, and shout out to Precious for, like we said earlier, for embracing it and just going full force with it. Yeah.
Saturday is 8:30.
on primetime, right?
That's
why.
Yeah, that's a letdown.
That's one of I don't 8:30 start times are always solid.
I gotta find a way to be occupied for like 12 hours during the day. What am I gonna do?
Do some like
Um,
strictly NFL shit.
either that or unfortunately tune into college basketball and try to bear that down for half.
Oh,
the
that's not
afternoon.
happening.
Oh, come on. If you're a baseball fan, I think the Yankees have a spring training game on Saturday, or the Mets if you're a Mets fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude.
He's a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kodai Senga. Yikes.
Dude, it's over.
Man,
It's
I saw that tweet about their pitchers this year. I was like, who the fuck are these guys?
Sevi, this fucking shell of
the only guy I recognize is like the shell of Severino.
I'm so sorry. I'm not.
Man, watching Sevy in those last couple of years here, it was brutal.
I was very sad, man.
So like seeing him go over to Queens, I'm just like, God bless.
No baseball talk.
Woo, Yankees.
No baseball talk, please.
Oh man. Let's see.
The plus minus stat is interesting.
Yes, Jordan Bubby brings up NBA most games with a plus minus of plus 20 or better this year. Wow. Derek White, who everyone thought should have been an all-star.
All-star.
11 Jason Tatum, 11 James Harden. Oh, James Harden. Wow.
The Clippers have been crazy since they got him.
Yeah, but I still don't believe in them. Weirdly enough, like I feel like they're still gonna flame out in the playoffs. Like either him or it's gonna be him, Paul George. Someone's gonna be the downfall.
It won't be Kawhi unless he gets hurt. That's all I know.
Yeah, he's too consistent in the playoffs. He's just that guy, like a Jalen Brunson type, you know.
Yep.
They don't make them all like Jalen Brunson, but there are a few of that ilk in the league. And 11, Jalen Brunson. So Jalen Brunson, one of the few guys in the league with games of plus 20 or better this year.
I will say, I think that could be taken out of context or like skewed by us just smacking a lot of bad teams. But there have been nights like tonight where, maybe not tonight's. Tonight's maybe not a great example, but there have been nights like Indy a couple weeks ago where he just absolutely takes over games and just like wills us to wins. And I mean, even today, well, first I want to talk about the fucking disgusting move he had, the fake swing step into splitting Buddy and I think it was Tobias for the and one. That was gross.
That one's going in my bag, bro. That one is going in my bag. I'm going to the gym tomorrow.
That's fucking nasty, man. And even the play where I think he missed, it was either a fadeaway or a floater on the other end, and the Sixers had a 4-on-3, and he got back and stripped Lowry of the ball, and then ran the fast break with Deuce for the dunk. That was a massive turning point in the game. I think we were only up like 12 at that point, and then they would have had a chance to cut it to 10 or 9, and then he gets that steal, and we're back up 14, and they call a timeout. I know it sounds corny, but that's just a winning play. And I don't know how many guys in the league you can look at and be like, he'll make us plays, not just scoring the ball, but he'll make winning plays when we need him to.
No, I agree. That was a great read too. Like, granted, it probably was his rotation regardless, but still a moment where you're kind of in scramble mode as a defense. Good hands on to not only make the steal, but to keep that ball in bounds too.
Yeah, he hit like a little fucking behind the back or some shit to keep it in bounds.
Yeah. And I'm glad Deuce is the one who got that yam too, because he deserved it. He deserved that. The reason that Luca and I just laughed is because this comment came up. Tobias had a special night. He was the worst player in the state.
He was fucking invisible tonight. He was
trash, bro.
He was so bad.
I saw a tweet from like Sixers fans. They're like, "Yo, Tobias plays like this," and like the Sixers reporters won't say anything to him. Like they are so. Someone said they're like cowards.
What's his
contract? Gross. I mean,
an atrocity. Yeah.
Well, Troy Weaver wanted to trade for it, so that just tells you all.
Troy Weaver also wanted to trade for fucking Zach LaVine. I don't really know if we can.
he is an impending free agent. He's on a 5/128. God bless him. And it
At
expires
least he's
this
set
year.
up, man. At least he's set up.
Dude, how much
They've
has
been
this guy
paying him
made
for
in
fucking
his...
years, dude. They've been paying him for fucking forever.
So
Has he ever been an
before he
all-star?
was on that contract, dude, this guy's made $250 million. I can't believe Tobias Harris has made $250 million.
I mean,
that's
yeah,
ridiculous.
he started on Detroit, right? And then he bounced
Yeah.
to
Was it Detroit or the Magic?
the Magic. I think he was on
No,
Detroit
it
too,
was the
though.
Bucks. It says the Bucks here.
He was
and
on
then
the
it was
Bucks, Magic,
Bucks, Magic,
Detroit,
Detroit, and then he got traded to the Clippers, I think.
the Clippers.
And
Yep.
that's what made him
Yes.
his money because
And
he
then-
averaged like 22 or something for them.
Yep.
God bless him,
Yeah.
man.
But then what actually made him his money is he was on the Clippers. He got traded mid-year to the Sixers,
Tobias
And they-
Harris over me.
and then they had Jimmy Butler and and then they lost Jimmy Butler, so they had no choice but to keep
Yeah.
Tobias Harris because they were like, we can't lose both of these guys that we traded half our roster for.
Tobias Harris over me.
He was rightfully upset about it too, because like look at where Jimmy's done since he left, and like he could have been doing that with Philly, and I know Philly fans are probably kicking themselves over that.
He's outperformed like the entire Philly roster playoff wise since
Yeah.
he left.
Yes.
Two
Yeah.
finals, and they've been to like one ECF.
Have they even? And the Sixers haven't done what? Have they even been to the conference?
Yeah, didn't they go to the
finals?
conference? No. They went to the semis.
They
in
haven't.
2020. Yeah. Not my MVP.
Yeah, the Nets Twitter is having a meltdown over this loss to the Raptors.
Yo.
Like, that's Twitter as a collective or like the admin? Because the admin would be pretty funny.
No. It's a big account on Nets Twitter. I'm not going to name names. But
Oh, is it like?
I will scroll
DM me.
and
no,
I will scroll and find.
Or
it.
I could just like, I have my ways. I'll figure it out.
it's
I'm blocked by this account.
No way, you're blocked.
Are you?
I'm blocked by a lot of accounts, surprisingly.
You piss a lot of people off on Twitter. You and Schwinn, man.
I can't say I'm surprised, but like some people are just like really, they're really soft skinned.
Yep.
Thin-skinned.
Whatever.
Yeah, I try and do my share of not pissing people off on Twitter.
You know, I try to make my mark. Any way I
You
can.
definitely do make your mark. I can say that.
And
Yeah,
if it's-
keep putting the parlays out there, Sam.
hey man,
Oh, you didn't even tell Con yet, huh?
no, I didn't. I'll save it for after the stream.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I think we'll be done very soon, anyways. Too. But yeah, this Warriors game is competitive. I might put something live because they finally opened up live betting. Finally.
Woo, we're back.
Nope, actually they closed it again.
Ah, we're not
fine.
back.
That's all.
No, wait, let me see.
Yeah, I feel
No, it's open again. Yeah, it's open.
it would be sick
Back
if
open.
there was more to talk about in this game. And I'm sorry, and I appreciate everyone who's stayed here with us. But it's just like ref show, Jalen didn't shoot well.
Yeah.
Bogey was fucking elite.
We'll
won
have
another
more to
game.
talk about after probably the Celtics game, even
Yeah.
though we'll have I hope that we'll be very competitive with them. It's going to be very hard to keep up with them because like they are the top team in the East and we're missing a lot of our key guys. That game is on Saturday on prime time. So, probably get the Doris Burke special, which, we all
Oh my god!
appreciate.
I fucking forgot about that. It's gonna be her and Breen, and Breen's gonna be copping the whole time, and it's just gonna be Doris fucking
Yeah.
just talking about Tatum the whole time, and
Oh,
his back
yeah.
tattoo, and his
Yeah.
and his armband. It's like,
And probably his son.
yep, and probably they're gonna show his son. Oh my god, he's so cute.
They're gonna talk more about Deuce Tatum than Deuce McBride. It's gonna fucking anger the shit out of me.
Well, no, remember what you call it. She said that Doris Burke said that Thibs loves Deuce.
Oh, loves him. Yeah.
Deuce Tatum?
Loves him.
Dude,
Deuce
yeah.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
No. Tibbs is a great uncle to Deuce Tatum. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now she said that like, does she really think that we believe that she asked Tibbs like how does he feel about Deuce McBride? Like that's what you spent your time asking him in like
Bro,
the pregame meeting, Doris Burke, I'm sure.
He would fucking
Dorisberg
lie.
didn't know who Deuce McBride was until he checked into the game. Like, she needs to fucking cut the act. Like, it's okay.
Like yeah, I'm looking forward to that game and just seeing how we match up.
Yeah,
I know the Celtics are gonna be at full strength. I wonder if they're gonna play their new acquisitions because they didn't play their new acquisitions today.
Who the hell did they even trade for?
They got Jaden Springer.
And
Xavier
they traded
Tillman.
for
Xavier Tillman.
Yes, Xavier Tillman.
So like Celtics fans, I think were at least anticipating that those two would take maybe Pritchard and Cornette's minutes because they feel like those two could be upgrades from them at least defensively.
Please do, because I feel like fucking at least one of them always kills us.
Oh, Peyton,
either Pritchard or Cornette, not really, but when Pritchard plays, he has like 15. He's annoying, 10 to 15.
Cornette could be only annoying from the standpoint of like just being an annoying tall guy in the paint.
Yeah. I wish we had OG.
Net.
Yeah, Knicks legend Luke Cornette.
Yeah.
Who knew that he would stick in the league this long when he was with us? So wild.
I totally thought he'd be out of the league. After.
Like he's like probably like the one guy from like those teams like the Noah Vonleh year or whatever, and that other year that
justice for Iggy Braz, man.
Iggy Brazdakis.
Yeah, Iggy Brazdakis, the OG lefty sniper.
Dude, I was drinking the craziest Kool-Aid on fucking Iggy.
Bro, we all were, bro. We all were. We were all just looking for like glimmers of hope.
We were in hell.
We were.
The guy had like an 18-point summer league game. I was like, oh, what a pick! What a selection!
We're so back.
Oh man, the dark.
He and RJ were supposed to be the lefties of the future, man.
Oh man, the two Canadians. Or like what? Wait, was one of them like Lithuanian or something like that? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of them being probably the white guy.
Yeah, probably not RJ Barrett, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean Boston game is on Saturday.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting to see how we match up with them. Josh Hart's probably gonna play a ton because he's probably gonna be matched up on Tatum a bunch. So looking forward to that. Probably another
Tatum.
That's actually interesting, a matchup that I would actually like to see. Just from the fact of like matching up on the perimeter, matching up in the post. I just want to see like how that looks.
Yeah,
because Precious has done well, I think, for what we've been asking him to do, and I think that he could handle just a little bit more as well. But yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, what do you guys think about at least matchups defensively? Because we know Josh Hart's gonna play a bunch. But yeah,
I want to see Precious on Tatum.
Yeah, that would be. That's probably the best matchup. I just wonder how much iHeart plays because I think he only played like 13 minutes tonight. And that feels like a game where if Tibbs is going to have to play him light some nights and heavy others, that feels like a game he plays him a lot of minutes. Because either to get out on Porzingis or just get on the boards because that team is very annoying. On the boards, at least their starting lineup is. If I had to guess, it'll probably be like Brunson on Drew, Dante on Derek White, probably Josh on Jaylen Brown, iHeart on Porzingis, and Precious on Tatum.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to it.
No, we don't match up particularly well with them. Because, people forget Julius usually guards Tatum or Jaylen Brown. And he usually guards them pretty effectively.
I want that Boston game to be like the 35-minute bogey game. That's what I need.
The 35-minute what?
Bogdanovic game. Like I need him. I need to just trust Bogey that night because we're gonna need Bogey to get buckets that night.
Yeah, their bench isn't like anything crazy. He should be able to bully like a majority of the guys they put on him defensively. And I think also we might just need him for the size out there because
size, shooting, all that.
Yeah,
we're gonna need spacing to beat Boston.
Yeah, yeah.
The way those guys hunt threes, like I went to that Celtics Nets blowout game. And the way that like, bro, if we're not getting enough 3-pointers, like we're just not gonna win. Even if we play better, we're like if they're hitting shots, we're not gonna win.
Yeah.
So he needs to just be out there for minimum like 28 minutes, honestly. I wouldn't even hate like, and this isn't gonna happen because of who Tibbs is, and that's fine. Like I tweeted today how I am like cool with Tibbs, and like I couldn't picture anybody else coaching the Knicks, but like I could see Saturday being a pretty big coaching loss. Not because Josh Hart sucks or anything, but like Josh Hart is probably not gonna give us. He's not gonna make enough of a difference on Tatum probably to supplement the lack of shooting, and that's gonna be what it is.
It sucks that we're like already ready for Tibbs to just not go with the best matchups defensively. Like we know he's gonna put Hart on Tatum, and Tatum is just gonna fucking shoot over him.
Yeah,
like I love Hart, and for all of his strengths, the dude is just not big enough to be guarding the Jason Tatums of the world. And I don't like. Not a knock to Josh Hart. I don't think he's good enough of a defender to be the guy to guard Tatum.
Well, Tibbs is going to trust him the most because he has the size at least, and reputation.
I don't think he has the size either though. Because Tatum's what, like 6'10"? Josh.
The way you probably have to like attack them is, I would put out Josh Hart on Derek White, and then I'd have Precious on Tatum. And then, like, I'll fill in the blanks from there. I mean, I don't know if you go
Dante on Jaylen Brown.
Like, if Jaylen Brown is gonna drop 45 and beat us, so be it.
Yeah,
like, I think Derek White is a bigger factor in stopping the Celtics than Jaylen Brown is. Honestly,
I think he should probably be their number 2 option. Or 3, or whatever Jaylen Brown is right now. Like, I think they're trying to. I don't know. I've never been super high on Jaylen Brown, and to your point, Con, I think we can live. And I do think Dante's a good enough defender to defend somebody like Jaylen Brown, because the way he plays, he loves taking jump shots, and Dante's a very annoying defender. Like, he won't let you get to your spot. He'll keep knocking the ball away. He won't let you get position.
Dante's hands are also really good against somebody who just doesn't know how to dribble, like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that could be like one of those games where the Jaylen Brown left hand memes start popping up.
It's like a fucking 4, 5, 6 turnover game because he just keeps getting picked. Hopefully. And I mean, I do think like the handles jokes are a bit overblown, but he definitely doesn't have like a crazy tight handle or anything. To your point. That's the type of guy Dante would be able to take advantage of in that sense.
Yeah, I also just feel like we're not going to be able to take much away from this matchup just because we're going to be missing OG and Randall, and like those are like 2 huge pieces. And I guess now we can start talking about their comments. It looks like Randall has not all the way ruled out surgery, which could be a little concerning. Maybe it's not till the end of the year, but like he still said he's like weighing all his options. He's still, seeing how he progresses and whatnot. OG had said that he is just following doctor's orders. He expects to be back this year. So that is still encouraging. But, just hoping that both those guys are able to come back at least before postseason so that way they can just have that time to ramp up. Because we don't want them just jumping straight into playoff action and expecting them to perform right there and then.
Yeah.
There's that.
I mean, I think Julius is just a fucking psychopath. So he'll probably and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. The dude just loves playing basketball. And I do believe him when he says he'll do absolutely anything he can do to get back on the court as soon as possible. And if that means sitting out 1 out of every 3 games or not starting a couple of games for maintenance, so be it. He's way too important to this team. And I do think the surgery thing is, like, the wording of it is scary because whenever you hear somebody not rule out surgery, you immediately think that they'll need it at some point during the season. But it could totally just be a thing. Like, just hope that he doesn't have any flare-ups or anything with the shoulder, and it's just a maintenance thing, and he can just ride it out until the end of the year, kind of like he did with the ankle. Although I hope for better performance, or I hope he can perform better with the injured shoulder than the injured ankle.
Yeah, I mean, with the injured shoulder, I feel like it's a lot more because, like, he's not really that much of a jump shooter this year, so it's just not that much of a concern, but it's still something that's a concern just because of the play style that he plays. He's very physical. He's very, especially this year, he's like really down on the block. He's using those shoulders a lot. He's like, he's getting to the rim, so like he's that much more of a physical player this year. So, just seeing how he deals with that.
Can we hit this before we get out of here?
Yes.
You're
Oh man. Between
what is a run.down if we don't shit on Jordan Poole?
What's the run.down if we don't just shit on any basketball player?
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh man. I mean, Poole getting benched. I mean, I don't know. Are the Wizards like trying to get serious about winning at the end of the year when they're like supposed to be losing? Like, is this what? Like, if they want to be serious about winning, they should have benched him a long time ago. But like him getting benched tonight, and then Josh Giddey also getting benched halfway through the OKC game. That
Giddey sucks.
Giddey is awful, like for many reasons. But
yeah, I was gonna say
one of them being basketball,
not just because of basketball.
Yes, but like, I mean, it just shows, some teams are just trying to get a little bit more serious about this basketball thing, and the Wizards are like, "Hey, we're 9-46, but we're still trying to show that you need to play a certain way to start in the NBA." And Jordan Poole hasn't been meeting that standard for the whole year, but the fact that they're doing it right after All-Star break is like, yikes.
I mean, Prez, I think he was saying how he was at the game that Jordan Poole didn't make a shot and was getting booed. And it's like I mean, I kind of do feel for him, like, as a human, going from averaging 17 in the finals and winning a chip to the worst, probably one of the worst players in the NBA on like the third worst team in the NBA, is a far fall from grace. But he also just sucks at basketball. So I don't know how bad I can really feel for him.
Jordan Poole is another like DeAndre Ayton type contract situation, but even worse, obviously.
I don't know how. Sorry to cut you off real quick. I don't know how the hell they managed to get Chris Paul from Jordan Poole's contract.
Dude, Jordan Poole is in the first year of a 4-year, $130 million contract.
He's what people thought the RJ contract actually is.
Yeah, because I mean, RJ's still giving you positive value in Toronto for what it's worth. Like, they still utilize him in a way that's conducive to him being productive for them on the basketball court. Jordan Poole is just
garbage.
A literal blob of shit playing basketball.
Even that might be giving him a little too much credit.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's just really bad. Like, it's like a brutal fall from grace.
It's impressive. It is really impressive how bad he is. He's shooting 51 true shooting, which is 12th percentile in the NBA. 46.9% effective field goal percentage, 8th percentile in the NBA. He's shooting 30% from three, which is 12th percentile in the NBA. And 35% from mid-range, which is 15th percentile.
Just so bad.
He's getting paid so much money to do that.
So bad. So bad. Like, if they wanted someone to do that for that much money, they could have hired me. Like I could do that.
Yeah. I wouldn't complain if they gave me fucking what is it, 25 mil a year to throw up stinkers.
I think I think it's 32 actually.
Even better.
Jesus.
Like he gets to go play fucking rec basketball for 25 minutes a game, 30 minutes a game, and gets paid $32 million a year.
Yeah, and then the guy makes like 5 shots, and they post those edits of like him walking past like the girls and like the courtside seats and shit. Like
He's scaring the girls now at this point with the way
You're
he's playing.
scaring the hose, man.
Yeah, he's scaring them with the way he's playing basketball lately. It's just like, sheesh. But yeah, he's bad. I don't know why they waited this long to bench him. It does nothing for his confidence, at least heading into next year. Like, and his trade value is all the way down in the gutter. Like, I don't know what they do with him. I don't know what that team is building towards. But hey, it's not my basketball team, so
I was gonna say to tie it back. Thank God it's not the Knicks, and thank God Leon Rose has this franchise under control finally, because he's done miracles on me.
This could have been us in some alternate twisted universe, but it's not.
Thank the Lord.
shout out God.
Yeah, that ass.
All right, I think we're gonna end things here.
Sounds good.
Shout out to everyone that's been rocking with us. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Make sure you guys check out all the links in the description.
Mm-hmm.
We got links to the site. Make sure you guys are checking out the site. We got some new articles out today. Shout out to Vivek and Zach. They wrote something about the All-Star Weekend, how to revitalize it. We also got the words by Miranda about Sabrina Ionescu's remarkable three-point shooting and the terrible words by Kenny Smith. We got lots of other stuff. Knicks related, NBA related, WNBA related. We got all that stuff on the site. Make sure you guys check out the site. We got links to the merch, Patreon. Make sure you guys are getting linked up to that Patreon. Make sure you guys getting into the Discord. A lot of great stuff going on in there as well. And make sure you guys are following us on Twitter
and Instagram.
And Instagram. Yes, thank you for
We're
reminding
close
me.
to 1K on Instagram.
We are close to 1K.
So yeah,
we're gonna give away a sick Instagram post for 1,000 followers.
So make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and Twitter at the Strickland. We'll be back on Saturday after the primetime matchup versus the Boston Celtics. Hopefully the Knicks can surprise us all and get a win. That would be great. So make sure you guys are there, and we will catch you guys on Saturday. Enjoy your Friday, friends. Peace.